Sorry, people. Hello, everyone. Have a night. Welcome to the presentation. This presentation is how the quantified self movement can boost your career. So I'll show you how the quantified self movement saved this guy's life. This guy last position in tech industry was a CTO, CIO of a financial services company. As everyone, he started his career as a computer technician, then became a developer, a system analyst, a system administrator, and a security administrator. So this guy worked hard to get his company to succeed. Believed that working for 10 hours a day, eating on his desk to save time, sitting all day was the way to succeed in life. He worked this way for more than 15 years without paying attention to himself, not knowing that his lifestyle was taking a toll in his productivity and health. And after going to the cardiologist and being scared by the doctor with medicines and tests, he decided that he would rather spend money on cooler things. So the company was successful, but if this guy continued doing what he's doing, he will not be here to collect what he earned with almost 20 years of hard working. So this soon after that, after the shock and initiating changes in his lifestyle, he met the movement quantified self. The quantified self refers both to the cultural phenomenon of self-tracking with technology and to a community of users and makers of self-tracking tools who share an interest in self-knowledge through numbers. Self-tracking, self-experiment, and of one method, single subject research. The kinds of self-research seen in the quantified self community are described by a thicket of labels. So how he started? He started measuring himself. The first thing he measured was how much steps he was doing per day. So he started wearing a bracelet called Fitbit Flex. Knowing how much steps he was taking a day, he began to motivate himself to increase the steps, looking for opportunities to walk more. When this Fitbit Flex broke, he bought a Fitbit Charge, the second. He started measuring activity and beyond the steps. He was realizing the change that was happening by self-awareness. Next step he did then was to start measuring weight and body fat. This helped him to raise awareness about what was happening to himself. He started implementing a bunch of tools, like mood measuring, and getting more knowledge about quantified self. So he was getting more knowledge, he was understand what changes he was making to his life was affecting him. The first thing on his journey was changing the way of eating and discovering new old ways to eat. He learned that the new way of eating in conjunction with more activity was improving his energy, his mood, and his productivity. Learning how to include high nutritional foods and tasteful new dishes on his daily meals was making him happier. Phone apps were his new friends to find out where to eat well. So he was going on and on and on, Delicious, right? So this is good food. So today, this guy is telling you how you how will help you to improve your career, improving your performance using the quantified self movement. The thing that potentializes personal growth and this trending job nowadays is wellness coach. Together with quantified self makes you invincible. So the help that a coach can work with high medium uh, work of a coach and using the quantified self, measuring you makes you invincible because you start to know, you know what better, you know what make you worse. So how this applies to you? You can measure your mood, you can measure your sleep, your activity, your weight, your body fat, how much water you are drinking, what and how much you eat. Then you can correlate and learn how things affect your productivity and mood. So measuring how much hours you sleep, you can check on the next day how it is affecting your productivity. When you measure, you can get awareness about you. What you can measure, you can improve. So starting with um, your physiological markers, you can start checking. Quantify yourself. Next step is to quantify yourself at work, quantify your team. So in the work, you can measure commits per day, per week, bugs per commit, reworks, downtimes, homesick. Correlate these measurements with your physiological measurements. Correlate with events, with weather, with traffic, and so on, and get to know what affects productivity and quality. This will allow you to create action plans, to take action. So most of us, and me, when I was a CTO, I didn't know how these things affected my productivity. Looking at the past, I see that I was not as productive would be I can because I not having enough energy to get to my day. So I needed to work much more hours to do the same thing I could compress in 90 minutes. The most important thing to quantify is your nervous systems. The measurements will show you what about your resilience, your productivity, your energy, and stress. I show images from a application that measure your nervous systems. This application called Weltory measures your heart rate variability. So on the screen on the left, it's a morning measure showing that my productivity is high, my energy is conserving, my stress is optimal. And on the right side, you can see my measurements of my heart rate variability after I did some exercise or a lot of exercise. So if you use this tool to measure you before events and events, you will be knowing how the event is affecting you. So measure yourself before you start a task, and measure again after you finish the task. Then you know how this task affected your markers. your productivity, your energy, your stress. Then take a 10 minutes break, go for a walk, and measure again. You will be able to see what a do to your. You don't have to believe only on the application. You can do this and check better you work after some test. So if you measure before the rest and after the rest, you know how the rest is affecting your body. And these measurements are very easy to do. Here, there are two devices that you can use to measure your nervous systems. They are very easy to buy and accessible. Both you can buy in any place on the maker site or on Amazon. It's very easy and very cheap. The next thing you can measure is your work, where you spend and how you spend your time. There is an application for that also. So this application called Rescue Time. It's an application that you install on your computer, your notebook, your desktop, your iPad, your phone. And the application will be registering the applications you use. So it will give an insight. So if you spend time procrastinating, or you spend time navigating on the internet, or buying things and checking social media, the application will show you. And again, you can get this information. You can get the measurements, your mood, your sleep, your nervous system as a resilience, energy, stress, and correlate all this information. Like you can measure your team's homesick, how much homesick calls you have in your team, and you correlate with bugs, with reworks, with downtime. Doing this, we will create to a better awareness of what's happening and what is affecting your work, your team's work. You're using all these tools and including on the work you do, on the process you do with your team, checking your mood, checking the mood of your workers will help you. The people think that sleeping well, eating well affect productivity, but it affects, it's science, it's proven. So when you get all the information that you have gathered, when you check this, after some time looking for the information, comparing the measurements, working with your team, you can get a vision. You can view what's happening. Okay, you can understand what's affecting your team's performance. So after you get all this information, you can start making plans. So, like here, we have this image of 5-point career development. Self-assessment can be a self-measurement, or can be a measurement you do. If you measure, you can improve. If you measure, get great awareness about you, about your team, you can create, develop action plans to improve the performance. So the truth is that you can work better, have better productivity and a better quality in your development and your team's working less. What do you think about the nervous systems Do you think that this affects productivity, affects quality? So, suggestion, when you work with all this information, when you correlate all this data and start using it to plan, to act on your work, you will be able to change how your team works. So the first thing you'll be noticing is that notifications, email applications, breaks productivity. If you have to change your attention from one thing to another many times during a task, your performance will diminish. You'll be prejudiced by this. So what we can do, knowing all the information, we start to working, respecting our ultradian rhythms. You can use our body, you can use our systems and work with them. Today we have a notion, it's not a new notion, but call it deep work. When you do deep work, we can compress what we do today 8 hours and 4 hours and a half. To do this, the first thing you have to do is turn off distractions. So we have to start doing deep work. What is deep work? One way to do deep work is after 90 minutes without a break, our performance begins to atrophy. Of course, we can move past this point via caffeine or sugar or by turning on our own stress hormones. But it would be much wiser to recognize the natural limit and take a break. Then cap your work bursting night at 90 minutes. Then take a break for 15 to 20 minutes. When you are a break, take a real break. Get offline and go for a walk or just relax. Hopping on Facebook or surfing the web does not give you the optimal recovery you need to come back and strong. But it's not easy to do this. It's not easy to say no to things, to say no to others. But this is the right way. And using the measurement, the quantified self, you can have data. As we are developers, we work with data. We trust data. So if you use this data, we are measuring, oh, sorry. This data we are measuring. If we start to use all this data we are measuring, we can prove that what is happening with our productivity, and you can measure how it affects. Hey, hello, Heidi. When you do this, you can prove and check what makes your team going strong, what makes your workers, developers to produce more with more quality. And mood, sleep, activity. So if you take a break and go for 20 minutes walk, you increase your productivity. This may be sounds counterproductive, stopping and going for walking, doing something entirely different from your work. But this works, and this is not new. This is, we have examples of this coming from performance athletes. All this information I am talking about, like measuring, quantified self-movement, heart variability measurements, already use athletes. This is low income to other fields. I changed my life. Yes, it's related to energy management and how you manage energy. Taking care of your mood, taking care of your sleep, taking care of your rest, taking care of what you eat. If you talk or do a comparison with bodybuilding, uh, the muscle growth occurs when you rest, not when you are exercising. So rest is as important as doing the exercise. So for the developer, for the worker, taking a good rest, taking a restorative sleep is during the sleep is when you are uh, cleaning your brain, making and fixing memories, and sometimes is the time when you are solving the problems you're having during the day. There are scientists that use this strategy. They, after having a good sleep, they they wake up inspired. And why we don't know this? I don't have an explanation. Because the quantified self movement has about 50 years, but it's the most people that use these measurements are athletes or amateur athletes. Try to try to start measuring. You don't need to start measuring all the things. You can start measuring like your sleep and your mood. Yes, it's better to manage your energy, your mood, than time. Because if you focus for minutes without stopping, your phone, without checking notifications, without answering requests from others, you'll be producing more. You're having more energy because humans can't do multitasking. Humans don't do multitasking. Only computers can do multitasking. Humans do task switching. And when we do task switching, there is an residual. It's a residual from the last task. So we need some time to choose to switch tasks and get productivity on the new task already. Yes, this is a good book. Also, uh, the recipe for success is not one thing. It's many things we do. It's because this I am suggesting to measure a lot of things. But as I did on my career, I started measuring steps, then activity, then weight, then mood. So I was learning how each measurement affects me. Today, I do every day the heart rate variability measurement. So the heart rate variability measurement tells me how I am doing. So I use this more for sports, but when, like on the left image, this is a good day to go more, to do more, to go beyond things. When I have a yellow on the right side, a yellow or a color, it's a day to go slow, to take a break, to do restorative tasks. And you can release this for work to check when you are more, work more, program more, or work more hours. The power of full engagement. Thank you for your recommendation, Hedge. So People, do anyone have any questions? Do you know, have heard about the quantified self-movement before? Have heard about these measurements to uh, Peter Drucker, it's a well-known guy, have a phrase like what you can measure, you can improve. And this is very true. Everyone that works with development is already measuring productivity, measuring deliveries, commits. What is missing is to start measuring physiology, your mood, your sleep, your energy, your stress, and correlate with the measurements you already do in the work, in the pipeline, in the delivering software, delivering applications to production environments. This is new. Correlation, work measurements with personal measurements. This is start to gain track on the market, but it's very new. What do you think about this? Hey, people, any questions? Any doubts? Do you know these devices? The device on the left, on the right, a watch mid-band from Xiaomi. It's very easy to find and it's very cheap, less than $50. This application has a free tire, so you can try. The sound is cutting the sound. I can repeat. Where the sound is breaking is better. Okay, Ariana. Then this software, this application rescue time will help you to understand this. And when you use the application WellToy, you can correlate all this information. You can start using a spreadsheet. I recommend starting using a spreadsheet and start with 1 or 2 markers because you can correlate homesick calls with delivery problems or with software quality. So this application is called you can start with a watch like a mid-band or a smartwatch. It will be the easiest way to start because these watches have at least steps, calories, activity, and sleep for yourself. So it's the cheapest one to start using, or the easiest one to start. Your phone, these measurements, you can load applications for step counter or sleep management. But I think wearing a watch, it's easier because the watch will be wearing all the time. The phone is not with you all the time. I use a ring. This ring is called Oura ring, but it is expensive than a Mi Band watch. This ring measures sleep activity, temperature, and heart rate variability at once, but it's something like $350. And Weltory, that's the application I showed that you can, this application that do heart rate variability measurements. You can start using it using the phone camera. He can analyze your stress, energy, using only the phone camera. Let me type here the name of the application. And Weltory has a free tier also. Here, Weltory. Rescue Time, the application that measures where you spend your time, also has a free tier. You can start using it for free. Now, to correlate the information between your personal measurements and your work measurements, then you need to do this by yourself using a spreadsheet, because I don't know how to do this kind of correlation yet. I think in the next few years, with artificial intelligence, we will have much more options, and AI will be able to correlate for us and find the patterns. If you want to see some AI working, there is an app, but I don't remember if this app has a free tier. It's called Gyroscope, that analyzes all your data and give you some insights about your measurements. But I think Weltory will be the best one because it's free and can start working using your camera. If you have an iPhone or a Android, for iPhone, you have Apple Health that probably is already measuring your movement, your activity. And for Android phones, you can install a Google Fit that will do the same. This should be a nice way to start. But the catch is start to doing the work, changing your work, creating action plans, working with people, and using the information. Some people maybe want to give the information because there is a problem, because when you get people's data, you can measure, you can know the risk of disease, the risk of homesick for a person. But everyone willing to start measuring with this data will benefit from it. But take care of not only activating the application and never seeing it. So if you measure your weight, checking your weight regularly, you make you be more aware of what you eat. If you measure your steps, you'll have a awareness about how much you walk. Probably you will start walking more automatically. So you need to watch, you need to see what you measure, and you need to think about this, doing your self-assessment, like on Weltory application. You have to think about why I am stressed. Look on the image on the right. Why I am stressed? Why my energy is low? Think about it and try to understand what I did today. different from the other days. Because energy is not something physical. If you had some event that messes up with your mood, with your mind, this will affect your energy also, too. Okay? So I think we can see on the top right, there is a heart on the images. This is a new measurement that Weltor implemented after COVID, after the start of the pandemic, to show you how is your resilience. You see on the right image that I have less energy, my productivity is declining, I am more stressed. My resilience is higher, is high. So even I am a little stressed with less energy, I can do more, I can work better. But if I still cheapen my energy working without rest, my productivity will decrease. Probably I will be making more mistakes on my work. If anyone, I can answer questions, any questions about productivity, about self-measurements, about the quantified self-movement, anyone. And if anyone wants to have a talk with me to get more clarity, to have to do questions, to understand how you can use this on your work, on yourself, for your team. I have this QR code and the link on the top that you can schedule a free call with me. I will be glad to help everyone to understand and use the information and starting being a part of the quantified self-movement. These things are here to stay. And whoever use this today will be able to improve better performance for yourself and for your team. Can I help? What questions you have? Did you know that the guy on the left is the same on the right? And it's me. I was telling you my history, my journey from the beginning of my career. Yes, yes. And even I have a successful company. I sold my company 3 years ago. And last year I changed to a health coach. So my work is to help people to get the same results I have. So when I was making my company to grow, I was not paying attention. If I didn't stop and started seeing myself and changing lifestyle, I will not getting to use the money I did. So you can work for 40, 50 years, but if you don't mind about your health, about your productivity, maybe you will be not here to use the money you raised for your entire life. So these things are important. And as faster you start to use this information to make your productivity higher, to deliver more, with more quality and work less, you can start I forgot the word. You can start having the good things and getting the good part of life right now. You don't need to wait retirement to enjoy life. You can start enjoying life right now and working better. So I finished all the information I have to talk. So if anyone wants to enter, to go video, to talk, be free. Anyone? Please type your questions. Ask to be on video with me. Let's talk. No questions? Can I help someone? Hey, hey. I appreciate your presence. I thank you for everyone here. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Hey. And thank you, Mariana. Can I help you with anything more? Come on, people. Thank you, Mariana. So as no one have more questions, I will be ending the presentation. But if anyone, you can schedule a conversation with me. I will be glad to help. Thank you, Miriam and Rosa. So I left the presentation. I'll be left in the presentation, and if anyone wants to me, and let me type here the link. Don't be shy, the conversation is free. There is no charge for the conversation. And usually this conversation takes about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night and enjoying the event. Thank you. Bye-bye.